11 years ago, the City of Ottawa tore down a fence built along here. Today, as you can see, the fence post holes are covered by grass along these two homes in Orleans. But the ordeal is far from over for these families.
It's been unbearable. It's been unfathomable by people that we've spoken to.
Even till now, it's 10 years. That's all I think about is, what did we do wrong? The city is not helping. Nobody cares.
Okay, so the fence was built about 2.7 meters or about 9 feet from the curb, and it went around this hydro box. Haider and his family lives on that side, and Nitin Datta and his family lived on this side, but they've since moved. CBC News cameras were there that July summer day in 2013.
All Haider can do is watch, while workers pull up a fence that used to enclose his backyard.
The city hired contractors to take down the fence, which cost the families about $18,000 to build. The city said the fence was built on its right-of-way, and it argued the fence was a safety concern. So you may be wondering, why are we talking about this story again after more than a decade? Well, the city billed the two families for the removal, about $4,000 each, slapped onto their property tax. Today, it's ballooned to more than $43,000 for both sides and growing. To this day, Haider and Datta refuse to pay up. And then there are the multiple lawsuits. Back in 2015, the families each sued the city. Now, the new homeowners who bought Datta's home are suing him for the huge property tax lien they've inherited. I know. That's a lot. So let's take a look at how we got here. In court, the families argued that they were harassed through bylaw, and issues began long before the fence was even built. A mysterious neighbor had called bylaw on Haider's family again and again for things like parking on his front lawn and the children's play structure being too tall. Haider even got a few parking tickets on his own driveway.
So as a family, we definitely felt attacked.
Haider's neighbor remembers the ordeal too.
It was really awful, okay? Like, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
Turns out it was a couple who lived down the street, and court records show they made dozens of complaints around that time, including about the fence. Okay, so remember the city said the fence was built on its property and said it was a safety concern.
Then, last month, a Hydro Ottawa employee who looked at the site raised concerns about 16,000 volts of electricity running in cables nearby.
But Haider and Datta say back then, city staff told them those measurements were fine.
Before the fence was built, Haider called the city's 311 line for advice on where to put it. He says he was transferred to a bylaw officer who told him it could go 2.7 meters or 9 feet from the curb.
The city has since denied this in court, but the families also argue the city made some procedural mistakes. Take this ticket, for example. The city charged them with a provincial offense. The families wanted to fight it in court, but that never happened. And the ticket was thrown out due to a city misstep.
Basically, we were guilty without proven innocent. We never had any day to courts.
And without a conviction, Haider and Datta say the city should not have preemptively torn down their fence.
There's no difference between our zoning.
And they say other fences around the city were built similarly. I spoke with various experts. Some say the city had the right to act that way. Others say they would have handled the case differently. The families allege city officials were negligent and mishandled their case. The city declined an interview with CBC but denied all the allegations in court and wrote, "The families are the authors of their own misfortune."